Nidalee taken off the table. Kassadin as well aimed towards the mid lane of Sencux. I probably was expecting a Sencux to bust out the Kassadin had it been left open, and we are just waiting for the rest of the bans now here.
Yeah, the Kassadin in particular is interesting from RNG's perspective. I do understand why it's taken away, but there's definite countermeasures to that, so I'm a little bit curious to see that on the board.
So clearly knowing they're on the Fog of War stream, they're taking away the Rek'Sai here, so yes. In that Fog of War they can't just see the Tremor Sense all around.
Yeah, it's also one of Trashy's best champions, though, which is a little strange because mlxg doesn't always gravitate towards it. I believe he really likes other champions, a high priority on them.
Jhin as well. Big pinch towards the jungle champion pool. What do you think these junglers go from here?
Yeah, I just think this is kind of tournament meta. And then the Cinder Band coming through. So now what jumps up in priority here is Graves as well as Cassiopeia. Right. And with Aurelion Sol perma-banned right now and disabled, I guess that could be the other jungler, yeah. That's true.
mlxg, you said he can play other champions. He likes Lee Sin. He could also play a Hecarim. So the decision from RNG is, am I farming or am I ganking? And obviously it does leave open the Cassiopeia that you mentioned, but it means that they're going to have early pressure. They might actually start picking champions for xiohu around that fact.
Yeah, and I think that the Cassiopeia is something that you have to pick here if you're Splyce. You can flex it. I think that, like, we talked about this yesterday where Wunder has always been an innovator. He's the guy who brought out like Talia top lane. Like, this might be a Cassiopeia that could eventually go to the top lane and be something that Wunder plays. If the matchup dictates that and is good. Orianna is considered the Cassiopeia counter at the moment. That and Varus are both two things you can play into it. Varus does get a little bit outscaled by the Cassiopeia, so Orianna has been considered the one that you can play toe-to-toe with it.
Kind of glad that we got the Lee Sin coming out early, because I think a lot of this is going to go around the early game, so now you could just see mlxg just come out of nowhere in the early game from Splyce's vision, so that'll be fun to track. As you mentioned, Cassiopeia and Karma, and then the rest of the composition from RNG. Massive priority on Jay so far as well in this tournament.
Yeah, I'm expecting a control mage in this middle lane, so the Viktor and Orianna make a lot of sense when you couple it with Lee Sin, but the Nami hover also, I just am confused why Alistar's not.
You want to see him on Alistar, yeah, I know.
Yeah, I think we all do.
It's sad life. He did pick it, so I think it's to match the Karma that's probably in support. Because if you play Alistar into that, you're getting shoved in the entire time. You probably don't get opportunities to roam because the Karma helps with the wave clear. So now you have a range support in the bottom lane for Mata that can actually hold up against the Karma. The Viktor is the third one down on the list to actually play into Cassiopeia. Not necessarily as a hard counter, but somebody who can go toe-to-toe with it. You just keep wave clearing back and forth, and neither of you really have too much kill pressure on each other until you reach about 2 items, and then you're in a very good spot there. So xiohu, I actually think that's a really good pickup to go here because the Orianna is considered the counter right now. I'm still like not 100% sold on that because in my mind, every time I picture an Orianna versus Cassiopeia lane, I just see like an Orianna panicking, like shielding herself and running away as the Cassiopeia is running her down. Like, that's just the mental image I get when I hear about that lane.
And if you are just joining us again, use the hashtag AskTheCasters to have your questions answered in-game. It will be answered by ourselves. No pro player here, unfortunately, but you're an ex-pro, Rusty, so that counts.
That's actually very true.
Nailed it.
We've got the Gnar and
his region has never lost a game at Worlds. So.
That's true. That is a true statement.
As a mid-player, Faker has never beaten me.
That's true.
In a competitive game.
What a stat. What are we looking to round out this picking phase from RNG here, gentlemen?
I was expecting Kennen, so I would be surprised if they don't lock this one in.
Yeah, super good into Gnar.
Exactly, yeah.
Love it.
It's also really good at escaping an Olaf. If you save the Lightning Rush, even level it up at level 2 so that you've got more safety in your lane. You should never die from a gank in these situations. It also helps a lot when Splyce's composition is move speed based.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And the fact that this isn't going to have too much to help the Kennen get in, but the Kennen is a really good pick here into the Gnar. You also have the Lee Sin on your own team, so you never had to worry about that in Champion Select of getting kicked away. They don't have anything that's going to push you out unless it's the Gnar who's going to Mega Gnar and like shove you away. So Kennen has so many easy ways into these team fights, has a good counter matchup inside of that lane, and it's just all around really good pick there. And it's funny because they were respecting this so much. Splyce were saving their last pick for their AD carry against Uzi. It's like, don't give Uzi the counter pick. They just make sure that they have something because you know Uzi will try to take the counter pick every time.
It's so bizarre to see a counter pick ADC.
And in the remade game from yesterday with RNG, I believe this is the lane that they were beating with the lane that Splyce had. So they know exactly how this plays out. And we'll have to see if RNG can adapt to that accordingly because Splyce definitely know what works.
We've got the full compositions now. Talked about like the champions individually, but what are the team composition looking to do? Let's start with RNG.
I think the Lee Sin, early pressure is something that we do have to note. Which lane he would look towards, in my opinion. Mid lane's worth considering because the Viktor's got a lot of lockdown if Cass is going aggressively, which you'd expect if he's trying to win that lane.
Right.
So I think there's a lot of early avenues of attack. For RNG, I think they should pressure the middle lane, but really they can just sit back and scale. They've got the Nami Ezreal that will win lane just by poking. They should be able to get towards those team fights.
Yeah, I think that they're both teams are looking for team fights, but I feel like RNG a little bit more so with that Kennen, and the fact that they have so much power with those double mages in the mid and the top lane. And everybody's going to kind of look for that mid-game spike. Everybody's going to look for that 2-item spike here. The Cassiopeia alongside the Sivir, like that's a little bit more around 3. So Splyce, if the game goes a little bit longer for them, it may be better. But I swear this is such a hard composition to play against that RNG have drafted for themselves. There's so much magic damage here. The effective range of these champions is so high. They have some disengage with the Nami, and then they have the Kennen on top of it for engage. It just gets really difficult to play against this.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, in a game of RNG versus Splyce, and this is the Fog of War stream. Even on our side, we just turned the Fog of War on. So we're as blind as you are, and as blind as indeed Splyce are. So very excited to see how this one works out.
Unfortunately, you do have to note that there's a couple of pings from RNG. We're going to have to try and play around pretending we can't see exactly where they're pinging and going.
Yeah. I mean, that could be like anything, right? It's like a game of battleships. But we do have a slight pause, I think, coming in, as I am just calling that one up. But Splyce being like, yeah, why is our Fog War enabled? What's going on?
Yeah, it does look like a Splyce problem. Believe he's talking to Sencux there, and from what I see from the referee.
Yeah, hopefully he doesn't have the same luck as Bjergsen. Causes a problem every single game. And that's us. Hello. So what do you think we're looking to track most in the laning phase? Should we be following like Trashy around to see what he's influencing, and so we get to see more of the map?
Yeah, and mostly Trashy. I feel like Trashy's the one that you have to follow around as the Olaf, and especially up against mlxg. If you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, then your lanes are going to get killed, and your Lee Sin is going to be able to take over the game on RNG's side and set up these lanes that are very snowbally. And like if a Kennen gets off the ground, he wins a team fight by himself. Yeah. Stuns everybody, does half their HP, and then everybody just has to follow up. Whereas like if you get the Gnar going, it's like not a big deal. I know, I know. We've all done it. We've all done it at some point. It has happened. It's like, are you even writing anything today? It's just holding the pen.
I just like waving it around, actually. Yeah. It just makes me feel good.
It makes you feel better about what you're saying. Like, I feel naked without a pen. I'm going to get a pen.
There you go.
Just the ultimate derailment of your point as well.
Yeah,
it's great.
Just
it's perfect, though. It's perfect. I don't even know where I was going with that.
I think Trashy is who we should highlight. Is the other segue to that, to re-answer the question one more time. I think that Wunder should be who he looks towards ganking because win conditions of Splyce is an important feature. But I do have to challenge whether he looks there or whether he does go bottom to try and counter gank. Something that EDG lost doing was playing away from their strengths towards the opposition's strengths.
Yeah, it's a problem because that top lane is one that you have to kind of sack because it is a Gnar favored matchup, but Kennen is gankable. I will say that all he can do is really lightning rush away, and if Gnar is on top of him, then you're just going to get the slow follow-up. So it's a possibility to gank that top lane, but you really want to set ahead your bottom lane or your mid lane here if you are Trashy. So it's a rough time.
I mean, Wunder even acknowledging that he's going to be taking a lot of damage, has the shield, instead of going offensive with a Doran's Blade, so wants to sustain his way through, which would indicate, as per an Olaf clear, he will do a full clear and try and have a little bit of added sustain up there, on the assumption Trashy won't be making his presence known until after the first recall.
All right, so I love to check Kennen runes all the time because I've seen so many different ones, and a lot of the time you end up running a bit of attack speed in your runes. So he has 0.76 attack speed, which means he is running attack speed runes on this Kennen. He is running hybrid penetration runes at the same time. So he has armor penetration, and it's the Thunderlord. So there's just so much here that the Kennen is using to win the early game. That's how you have to rune his Kennen. You can't rune for like scaling most of the time. I mean, I even run, and I take the page that QV used, where your blues are actually magic penetration. So you're running like basically 15 in magic penetration at the start of the game.
There's a lot of trading going on in these lanes. I just saw Wunder up there, just see Looper come into lane late. Do you glean from that the enemy jungler started topside, or do you sometimes just like wait and then go in and fake it out?
There was one fake from CLG on the first day, but you'd have to imagine that being on that particular side of the map, you're assuming that he's going to start up there, work his way down. You can also correlate his timing and positioning on Summoner's Rift to that of the Olaf, but instead of saying that he's at the Raptors right now where Olaf's going to red, he was at the red going to Raptors or Scuttle Crab, because usually the Hecarim will skip that camp to ensure he's as healthy as he possibly can be.
Trashy just clearing out his jungle as well. Do you think he'll go for the crab here after? Well, go back.
Just to answer your question a little bit deeper from before, Pulse, about knowing where the jungler is, you actually can't, because the bottom lane didn't do a camp. And hold on, Uzi kind of low here.
Yeah, he's definitely getting hit up. Kobbe's just body blocking a lot of this damage and dropping very low.
Uzi doesn't miss Qs.
Mikyx out of mana already. This is already rough. Everybody's burned through their potions in this bottom lane. It's been heavy trading to try and get an advantage here.
Really exciting to see these caliber
perfect.
plays.
Perfect. This is actually perfect from Trashy.
Ezreal.
He should just go right now. He should just go right now.
Yeah. There's definitely going to be vision there. You can see RNG are pinging to say go away, but Trashy stayed for too long when he had his eye in without actually going in, and not knowing where mlxg is shouldn't be a cause for concern.
Yeah, that's a right there, 100%. Wunder, I don't know how many minions are underneath his turret, but you engage as Gnar, you jump in, you E over whatever's in front of you, and you go, because this Olaf ghosts and just hits him with red buff.
Yeah.
Like, this is how you punish a Kennen very early on in the game, is they will try to shove and get an early advantage. And he missed his window right there. Like, that was a play that 100% you should have gone on.
Going into this mid lane as well. Still no knowledge of where mlxg is.
xiohu's playing this really calm, so yeah, mlxg's there.
That's why.
Yeah, like, he's playing to his side.
I think it's safe to say that the way xiohu was playing that, being calm, is an indicator that mlxg is in the area. Like, plain and simple.
What?
Did he need to flash there?
Look at how many summoner spells Splyce blew. Splyce is actually scared. Like, Trashy blew his ghost there as soon as he saw mlxg to start running away.
Yeah.
And Sencux blew his flash there, even though he was not in danger of dying. And I feel like they're just respecting RNG too much. That's what it feels like. You didn't gank top lane when you could have blown your ghost, and like 100% rule of jungling when they're that far up. Look at this.
Uzi just going
You're gonna get
in.
a Q? Nah.
And this all stems from not actually having a trinket ward available from Splyce's bottom
lane. Is MLXG here?
And Uzi using the bottom side of the map.
Yeah, he's here. Yeah. No!
Man, this is a great experience. It's like, is he?
Though he was definitely at least aware, but didn't respect mlxg enough to continue walking away.
Yeah,
he does have to blow.
I mean, the map looks so dark right now. Like, is there a single ward on the map right now for Splyce?
There is
literally
not.
Completely black.
Yeah, they've gone back to base. They've got 2 pink wards. This is the first phase where they will start to place more wards, but Trashy going for the Boots of Lucidity on his Olaf once again to accelerate clear and get a bit of extra move speed around the jungle means he won't be able to place vision, where you know that mlxg will be able to by upgrading towards his jungle item sooner.
Yeah, and another thing to note as well, just in terms of advantages, like, you should have blown your ghost early on to get this kill top lane, and now look what's happened. Looper's already forced Wunder back. It's TP advantage. The Gnar went back for items, sure, but this Kennen now has an ability to make a play on this level 6.
Trashy knows there's no ward. He has the Raptor Sense Smite, and so he knows that Kennen has no idea where he is.
He's razor sharp right now, but now he knows where the Lee Sin is.
And now he's just going to go top? You can't get a gank top like that. He's 100% solid. I don't know.
Nah, he's going to stay on blue buff. There's like no way he'll go up there.
Like, you can't gank top, but you can head over there. But
could have done Scuttle at the very least, right? But he can't see where the mid laner is of RNG. You know xiohu's going in that direction instead of placing vision, because he doesn't have vision. He has Boots of Lucidity. He doesn't opt towards the Scuttle Crab. He's now being bullied away from this. Trashy is wasting so much time in a jungle area where he has nothing to actually kill there. Should have just rotated, went to the bottom half of the map, but he is showing too much respect to mlxg, who's not even level 6.
That's his Raptors buff as well there.
Yeah, he also has Ghost back up, so that's one of the advantages of running Ghost is, oh, that's not the right way to juke Mickey.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I think he's
alive. Oh, Uzi!
What are you doing, Kobbe?
Going down, man.
Kobbe!
Kobbe has heal, so they're baiting.
Yeah.
So does Uzi.
Uzi has heal, yeah. But I'm like, at least walk forward and get the heal. Like, you bait the summoner and you don't get it, it's still a problem.
mlxg is definitely going to be near this area, even if Trashy is. He has nothing to do top half of the map entirely, and his red buff is about to spawn. So on cue, You do see MLXG show up, just to clear a pink ward though.
So from seeing that action bot lane, is the Lee Sin just beelining towards the bottom side? We knew he was like around the bottom.
He had nothing better to do, really.
Yeah, had that stun. What?
And that's Ghost, too. That's Ghost. Yeah.
Part of me wants to like slow-mo how he somehow got stunned turning the opposite direction, but I know it's usually mouse input that actually determines if you get stunned or not the direction you're facing.
Oh, xiohu's?
If your last mouse input is actually forwards after you've juked, you'll still get stunned when you're facing away.
Yeah, it has to do with 90-degree angles. So basically each champion, if they're facing forward, you basically put a line through them 180 degrees to their left and right, and if any of that is facing Cassio, then they're good.
Oh, Mikyx. Well, he doesn't have any flash anymore. He's not dead. Well, okay, he's very dead.
Very dead. And right here, this is actually a fight that Splyce could have won. Sencux. Oh, boy. Wunder.
That surprises us as well.
Oh, what is he doing?
Oh, okay. He finally
he needs to transform, but yeah.
Sencux will get this one as well.
Yeah. And where's MLXG? Where is he?
So he got red buff.
He's still there.
MLXG is invisible.
Yeah, he's probably gone.
You can see the pings as well from RNG.
Yeah, he probably backed in the bush.
Sneaky devil.
Oh! Hey-oh!
He was there all along.
I feel like our observer's cheating.
Yeah, he's definitely cheating.
So why is the camera still here?
So to recap, that bottom lane once again was a big mistake from Kobbe and Mikyx. They didn't place another ward. They don't have a trinket to place in that bush. They didn't have the sight stone, I don't think, to actually put in there at the same time, so they make a mistake and die for it.
Yeah.
On the top side, it's actually a better collapse from Splyce overall, but RNG was here first.
And this is something that this is actually not good by RNG, in my opinion, because look at the way that the top lane is set up. You're missing creeps as Kennen because it got shoved in. Wunder is here first, so it could have been a 2-on-3. Before Kennen showed up, then it would have been a 3-on-3, and they would have been able to actually come out with more. But the way that it ends up going is a 2-for-2, with the bottom lane actually happening at the same time simultaneously. So I feel like RNG could have gotten punished more heavily for that if Olaf had just used a summoner spell to stay alive and just be like, all right, I'm going to run around, I'm going to run to the right side of my jungle, delay you. That's all he had to do.
I guess like the thing you really have to look for next is what our Splyce do, given that they're losing in 2 of their 3 lanes. It's a big problem point for them. Bottom lane's now 2-0. The Ezreal Nami picked to winning lanes, so Uzi's snowballed. That's where a lot of the resources of RNG go. So how does Splyce actually attack this? When the turret's standing, they're actually stuck there, and so this is a big win potentially. As MLXG is one sneaky Lee Sin.
He's coming out of nowhere. Like he's just coming out of your own jungle now.
I mean, like, look at the jungle. There's no vision.
It's completely dark.
There's barely any vision on entrance points as well.
He's Nocturne.
I think he went back in there. I swear he went back in there.
Which means he should be near top. Wunder's about to ward and...
No, he's in mid.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went back in there. I think he checked some camps, made sure that they were down. He probably placed some wards too, considering his tracker's knife, but it looks like it's still good. Huh. Did he not put anything in there? All right.
Also has yellow trinket wards still available.
So it feels like every dark part of the map, there just could be an mlxg in there. Like,
and it's something that maybe you can talk about as well here, Rusty, because I've played a few tournaments, nothing like enormous, but as a jungler, when I'm playing, hold on, just
I think it's
yeah, there's just no vision there. But yeah, when I'm playing in tournaments, as a jungler, I'm actually more paralyzed than normal. Maybe it's something that I have to get over, but you really respect the fog of war even more, and it feels like the games are longer. You feel like you can't do as much, and maybe it's hey, I don't want to lose the game for my team, but at the same time, like, look at this vision. It's like you can't really go anywhere without risking it. You roll the dice that the enemy jungler is there.
It starts with the vision, so I agree. It definitely starts to affect you mentally. Trashy is a smart player, but he's a smart player that's really good at playing in the European region, so he knows what the junglers are going to do against him. I'm saying that they are a smart jungling region, but they're predictably smart because they make the right decisions every time.
Yeah.
Right? RNG, you don't know where mlxg is going to be. He was in that Rift Herald pit and queued out of it to hit you going for a Rift Herald, like the Scuttle Crab. Like, the things that he does are always a little bit out of your expectations. They invade, they go forwards at times where you expect them to go backwards. Like, it's really unpredictable, and the vision that Splyce have doesn't actually complement finding them. So whilst I think Trashy is smart, I actually think he's outclassed by sporadic plays.
And
Yeah.
again, just coming out of nowhere, Mikyx nowhere to go, completely dead. Is there a point at which, as Splyce, we just say, screw it, I don't know where they are, but we just need vision right now?
So I want to see when xiohu actually leaves the mid lane and what that setup was, because Sencux chooses to back instead of looking for an opportunity, and xiohu roams instead. So that I want to see like when he decides to actually leave that lane.
It's actually a really good turning point as well for Splyce. Their bottom lane turret has fallen, so whilst RNG are now snowballing with the gold, you can see that reflected. It finally gives Mikyx some relief and the ability to disappear and place the wards that were lacking for Splyce. I know he needed to do so earlier, but he's against the Nami Ezreal that had already won the lane, so he was stuck there.
I think Trashy is going to have a really bad time right now.
Oh, slightly out of range now. He gets stunned up.
He's going to have to...
Yeah, there's a ghost.
Ooh, yeah, there is. Yep.
Could have used his Ragnarok for the move speed, right?
Only towards people.
Oh, it's towards, yeah.
Yeah. So xiohu clears the wave as Viktor, and right here you expect him to actually leave. And so they think they have this area covered. He's not spotted there. Really good job to hug that right wall.
The thing is, they're going for blue buff, not even diving bottom.
He goes all the way around. Yeah, so they get blue buff. There's just no vision here. Look at their vision. Look at that.
It's literally like a Christmas tree,
Look,
this whole
look at-
bot side.
Look at it. That's where their wards are all allocated, so they're going to play to this side of the map.
Yeah.
Like, a Splyce don't even have a setup on any part of the map. They're not even warding.
This is the, like, Splyce are completely outclassed right now, and it's because they're losing lanes, which is something that nobody really goes hard for.
Like, count how many wards are actually on the map right now for Splyce. I think it's 3.
Yeah.
Good turnaround.
And they have a sight stone.
10 on one hand.
They have a sight stone. They have 3 trinkets. They have 2 sight stones. So Trashy has a sight stone now. And that's something as well as a lot of junglers now go for Tracker's Knife early on because of the fact that it gives you that extra ward. It gives you those wards. You don't have to buy a sight stone. It's very quick to pick up. And then you just get to start littering the enemy jungle with wards. And that's how you snowball things, is having those early wards in your inventory and able to actually get it down, because then you make more proactive plays.
The other big thing while we were talking about vision that's missing is pink wards just in general. There are none on the map. There are 3 for the opposition of RNG. So at this exact point in time, they are really struggling, Splyce, to keep up and maintain what is constant pressure from RNG, and they are falling behind because of it.
Wunder putting down the pressure top lane. Like, Trashy tried to play around the top lane, but like every single time he walks anywhere, mlxg is there, and case in point, like, there he is.
He's a 3-0 Lee Sin right now with his Warrior Enchant completed, and if you look at Trashy, the only combat stats that he has, I don't always... Oh, excuse me.
Right there, mate. Oh, you're right.
my headset. I don't always consider cooldown reduction a combat stat, but just in terms of his actual stats that he's bringing, it's just HP. He's just stacked HP against somebody who has HP, warriors, has armor as well. Like, your jungle is basically his now.
There's also a really big item breakpoint across the board for most of RNG in comparison to what looks like essentially just Wunder. So at this point, the only positive that they have is the Gnar against the Kennen, but RNG had already broken the bottom lane turret. They've transitioned to the top side of the map, which means if Wunder stays around to try and defend, they don't have a teleport advantage. So Splyce's next move is completely constricted as to where they can go.
Just saw some of the stats there as well, and that drop down from Splyce significantly behind the world averages in terms of 15 wards cleared, wards placed even. And hello, Lee Sin out of nowhere. You'll be popping your ult and heal. It just seems like mlxg's game. Like,
yeah, and now you can't even get vision of your own jungle because you're going to lose your outer turrets. You're going to lose so many kills going over. Like, the game, like, it's awful to say, but like, the game is now completely in RNG's hands. They're just going to roll them over because they never even established control. Now they have vision of their top side jungle. They have vision of their top side jungle that's equivalent to what we saw RNG have a minute ago. These are the most wards that we've seen Splyce have on the map at one time.
I'm glad we're following Splyce because this feels like a horror stream.
yeah, it
Look
really
at that.
does.
Look at that. What? Like, he just threw out the petrifying gaze so fast, and I feel like Trashy and Sencux, like, everybody's playing really scared right now.
Yeah. I'm actually curious if, like, to watch that again. The way that it worked for Sencux is he was expecting xiohu to perhaps be rotating through there and move forwards just because he wants to clear the
xiohu
way.
played it well.
It's a pretty standard thing that you look towards, and this again, Uzi just looks like he doesn't take damage.
And now you can see the vision has shifted to top side here for RNG, and it's just like whenever they're making these plays, they have such good setup.
Yeah, I actually really want to talk about the vision on the map right now instead of like the execution right here. Look at RNG's vision in their pink wards. Their pink wards were in their own jungle. Your pink wards will last longer if they are in your own jungle because they have to come in and clear them and spend 4 hits on it, at least 4 seconds clearing out that ward. And that buys you time.
Which way do I go?
He dodged
Kicked
it.
in the face.
That's what matters,
Oh,
though.
man.
Feels bad, dude. But I completely agree with you, Rusty. I think you hit the nail on the head. This really is a horror stream right now. Splyce have just lost all vision. Kennens are coming out of bushes and bot side. mlxg is apparently everywhere.
Lee Sins are coming out of Fog of War. Uzi can literally walk at them and just do what he wants.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That guy is on form.
This is disgusting. 4-0-2 was dominating the
race
lane.
car snake.
And
That's
he's
all
gone.
he got done.
And now Lee's going to appear bot side somehow.
Splyce then have
But
many answers.
actually, though, they know where he is, so that's good. But you don't have items.
Yeah, but now in all these plays are just straight up losing. It doesn't even have to be because
Mata.
of vision. Goodbye, Mata. You got that one. Oh.
Yeah. I mean, Uzi already
Ow.
has Trinity Force and his Manamune. He's actually a full item up right now.
Yep, that is a completely true statement.
Because Uzi said, oh, I'm crushing this kid. I'm going to buy a cull. And he still wins the lane. That's just how ridiculous that matchup was. Is he just got an early cull, had it pop, put him way ahead of the curve. I'm actually interested to see how much gold he actually has up. Perfect.
That's a lot.
He almost has twice as much. He is 800 gold away from being twice as much. That's bonkers. That is crazy.
Yeah, he's a bit fed. Real talk though, like you're behind in a game like this, like Splyce. How do you get vision down? You're only placing it in your side of the map, obviously.
Yeah.
Do you go in like groups of 2? You do the buddy system?
More than 2, honestly, at this
3.
point. You have to concede the Cloud Drake at this stage. You probably focus near Baron. It is only 19 minutes.
So you don't want to Scooby do it.
But you do not go in there, yeah. You have to look towards the Baron.
Yeah, this is...
And you do it as at least 3, I would say, at this stage, because every single time they turn a corner, there is a Lease in there.
Yeah.
They probably want to have scrying orbs already to be safe to walk, even to put defensive wards.
I mean, they just hit like level 9 now, too. It's actually pretty bad. But yeah, I feel like RNG, now you start heading towards those Barons. You start kind of forcing them. I feel like that's their style. But out of nowhere!
Is this fed?
Run! Can't even run.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is pre-planned like quite a while in advance from RNG. The second the Drake's taken, Wunder's actually way out of position trying to clear a wave to prevent them from doing anything. They may assume they'll go straight from Drake to Baron, but if you disrespect the ability of a Nami and an Ezreal to catch you out, especially when there's a red buff prior to the Drake, it just shows a lack of foresight and shot calling from Splyce, unfortunately. Just in that situation. For what it's worth, they're too far behind, but a mistake like that is almost expected.
To speculate, where do you think RNG's vision is right now? Like, how much do you think is focused top side, bot side?
I think it was bottom side mostly, and now I think it's more towards that top side. Or actually, I think it's all right. It's between middle and bottom right now.
I'd say entirely from like mid to bottom in between all of the jungle, where right now they'll use bottom as a pivot point. If Splyce defend this, they'll rotate through that jungle towards the middle inner and take that instead. So I'd say everything's set up there.
Yeah, but they're not defending it just yet, so you get that chip damage, you get to take out that turret a little bit. Now you have xiohu. Clear the wave, keep pushing up, keep pressure on, and now they don't have vision of their own jungle here, so boop, there you go. Now you actually just saw Lee Sin and Nami go past that ward. You luckily have one of these deeper wards here.
Yeah.
That's a hero ward right there.
You can see the rotation from RNG.
But it doesn't save him.
Unfortunately not, no.
Yeah. And so now that you have these outer turrets down, now all of your vision should be between top and mid.
Okay.
And you should bear in a pink ward. Look at that. Look at that ghost.
They've got a lot of momentum. RNG can definitely brute force this inner, but they've already been around on the map for so long you expect them to recall after this turret gets pushed down unless they get gifted a fight by Splyce. So you expect recall set up for Baron, which actually gives an opportunity for Splyce finally to push out and try and secure some vision of their own. But they don't want to do it just yet. Give it 10 seconds. And that's unfortunate because that means there's a 20-second window instead of 30 to place those wards down.
Yeah.
I just got a nice stat in. Apparently, RNG have done twice the damage of Splyce this game to this point. So
I believe it.
Yeah, I really do. 13,000 gold advantage, 22 minutes in, 6 towers ahead. Not quite the perfect game, but pretty close to it.
Where's he going?
He's afraid.
He's going
to
away.
base.
Yeah.
Just getting the enhanced recall out there.
Which is now Baron. Looper has his teleport available. Watch the way
Yeah,
Splyce now
I'm
rotates.
pretty sure
but
they're doing it now.
Look at where the vision is. They have one pink ward, and he can place one here.
It's probably already being done. Really?
No, Uzi was mid, yeah.
That's what they want you to think. And they
Sorry,
want you
I'm a pessimist when I play the game. When I don't have vision of Baron, I'm like, they're doing it now.
You're that guy in Solo Queue is just like, they're on Baron.
They're all idiots.
5 people bought it. They're on Baron.
And then they ward it and it's not there. It's like, I'm an idiot.
Rule of thumb for Splyce in this case as well, as they only have one blue trinket, so when they're in a defensive position, they might want to actually have 2, so I'm surprised that Sencux hasn't actually changed over to it, because they need to be able to at least see if they can't control vision, and they can't control vision because RNG have just recalled, they're about to have their sweeping lenses up, and they're about to have their pink wards down.
Do you
this
think
is
that's
the point where they're stuck.
Do you think that's an active choice from the Sencux, keeping the totem just because like they have no vision, or an oversight?
I hope not. That shouldn't be an active decision.
Yeah. Some people value it, but I definitely feel like when you're behind, Scrying Orb goes up and actually, you know what? Scrying Orb at all points is just better. Like if you're ahead, you just start Scrying Orb your own jungle so that you have permanent vision in there. And you just light that thing up. But if you're behind, then you just start using it to scout things instead
Start
of
playing
face checking.
battleships, right?
Yeah.
mlxg split pushing. There they are.
Found them.
He was there first.
Yeah, this looks like it might be the fastest game of the tournament so far.
Yeah, maybe 24 minutes in, looking for the fight as well. Uzi just chip damage. My god, that damage coming in from... Hey, missed the skull shot.
Oh, that was really beautiful.
And that one. Doesn't really matter because Splyce is taking so much damage.
Yeah, they're actually probably going to go for another turret here if they have the minion wave.
Yeah. A little one flooding in.
Wonder's about to be mega as well, so your safe bet's to rotate from here to mid, then to Baron. But Uzi really likes killing people, so he's just going to be in their base, apparently.
They had a decent wave top as well, but yeah, it looks like it's mid to Baron.
And again, they have such a big lead, the Baron's actually considered a potential throw pit. It's a waste of resources when you are far enough ahead, so it's just rough as Splyce.
I like this from Uzi as well, with the Bloodthirster, because the only way that you lose this game is this Uzi dies. Right? Like, you have to get blown up.
Look at Uzi.
So, yeah.
Uzi's on the front lines. He's looking to assassinate people.
He's just getting healed.
Yeah. Losing 2 members
that's
there as
perfect.
well.
He's dead.
Oh, double kill as well for Uzi.
Dead.
Yeah, it's
God,
the House of Cards. It's all coming down.
Man.
Triple kill as well.
That's a
Quadra kill. Man, Uzi panning out those stats, dude. 5 and 0. Yeah, that's the end of the game.
Yeah, that's the fastest game of the tournament, I think.
25 minutes.
And
damn.
We saw how it was done from Splyce. Like, there's a missed opportunity from Trashy early game to upset the top side of the map. Then, if you have that kill as Olaf, like you're ahead of the curve, you're able to actually contest vision, because one of the biggest things that we didn't really go over too much with vision is the fact that when you are behind, you don't even have the combat stats to contest vision. They're getting more vision than you because they have sightstones earlier and whatnot, and they can actually just go into your jungle. But the fact they just have flat more combat stats than you means they get to keep that vision, they get to contest it, and every time you try to contest your vision in the jungle, they will beat you, they will get kills. So that's the problem once you start getting behind, is your vision, you cannot hold on to it.
So Uzi did over 5 times the damage of Kobbe.
Oh.
Kobbe in that game.
Oh my god, yeah.
That is
22,000 to 4,000.
Kobbe did the least amount of damage to champions in the game.
Yep.
Man.
Less than Nami, less than Karma, less than Olaf.
That is a shellacking where the bottom lane of
That's a
RNG
word
once
for
again
it.
goes off.
How much gold was it? And in terms of difference, because I'm pretty sure Uzi doubled his gold.
Get over there, Rusty.
I want to see if it still happened.
There you go.
17 points, or 14.7k
100
versus
gold.
7.4. 100 gold. He's 100 gold away. You know what? I'm going to round up another one just for fun.
I'm
Say he
gonna allow
doubled
that
it.
one.
I'm going to say he
Yeah.
doubled it. I'm going to say he did it.
That's how stats work.
Yeah,
Nailed it.
exactly.
Yeah, you choose the ones that work in your favor, and you discard all the other ones. You just ignore them. No.
What was the change that should have happened in the early game then? Because obviously Splyce were playing very scared and continue to do so the less and less vision they had. So should they have just tried to secure more early? But they seemed blind for like the whole game.
Yeah, I feel like the gank that Trashy could have had top could have been a game changer because you set up a winning lane for yourself instead of a losing lane. Then, once you have that, maybe you get an early tracker's knife or something along those lines and start getting your vision down. And pay attention to that bottom lane as well, because once you get that top lane going, like that's not a matchup that like Kennen wins forever. Eventually, Gnar has too much MR, too much damage. Frozen Mallet chases you down. If you get him to that point, 100% leave him alone. go bottom, use that Gnar's teleport to actually upset the bottom lane.
The way I see this as well is Olaf, fine jungler, does start Boots of Lucidity. That makes a lot of sense, but your bottom lane's losing. They're stuck in lane. So it's actually really important that between him and Sencux, they actually start to buy more wards and work together to establish vision so the Lee Sin doesn't snowball. They didn't do that, and RNG just got carried away with an early lead.
I have one more question just before we wrap up. When you're on the backside like Splyce, you obviously know there's a lot of vision in your jungle from the opposing jungler and everyone just placing it down. So in terms of like vision clearing, do you just have to like know that that's happening and then go around that area, or do you just try and play around it on the other side of the map?
I think the best case scenario regarding vision is actually knowing when to sack objectives to actually either clear defensive areas or match on the opposite side. So the conscious decision from Splyce was that we're not going to give you anything, you're going to have to take it, whereas they could have definitely just traded on the opposite side of the map, but instead they made an active decision, they didn't do it well enough.
Got it.
Yeah, I feel like matching is very important, like you said, because it's not about just avoiding that area, it's about creating advantage for yourself on the other side of the map or in a different area that mirrors it on the map, because it's symmetrical, right? So get something in return, or else you are just falling behind more and more, and you're not actually picking anything up for yourself. It sounds very basic, but it's like you see Lee Sin bottom, go top, right? Take his jungle, do things like that, establish vision inside his jungle. Every time they saw Lee Sin, they didn't really do anything with that. They didn't get deep vision in the bottom side of the map, the top side of the map. They didn't trade. You're supposed to trade vision most of the time, and then it comes down to who is using that vision. Like hypothetical scenario now, I see Lee Sin bottom side, I go top side immediately, and I ward his jungle. I take his jungle. Next time I see Lee Sin walk to that side of the map, on that ward, 100%, I know he's there. I go bottom. So you use the vision that you placed from seeing him place vision to your advantage, and then you create opportunities for yourself. And that didn't happen at all.
Very, very interesting. Well, that will do it for the horror stream over here. The next game is on the way. Call your bottom lane duo partner, because up next we're following Forgiven and Wunder for a duo lane focus cast. In the meantime, we're sending it back over to the mainstream while we grab a gate to help us break down the next game. We'll see you then.
I mean, we're looking at this gold graph right here, and it just tells the story.
Close game.
Yeah, very close game. You know, but in this